Greetings, I'm CodeHeart322 and welcome to my code review of the World of Tanks. What is the World of Tanks? It is a team versus team battle using tanks of the sort of World War II era, both pre and post. You drive around trying to normally kill the enemy team, alternatively capturing strategic locations. There's a couple of different match types, including this one, which is standard battle, where each team has its own base area. If you were to park your tank in the enemy base area, you start to capture it. If you get enough capture points, your team wins. There's also encounter, where there's a neutral capture point, normally in the middle of the map, where both teams are trying to capture that one point. You also have assault, where one team has a capture point, it's trying to defend. The other team has no capture point itself and has 10 minutes to either kill the enemy team or capture their base. Unlike a lot of sort of common team-based games where you're in first-person shooters, this one is quite slow and quite, I'd say, more strategic in its style, as you are not running around like a headless chicken. You're driving around like one instead. There's different types of tanks you can use. Wow, I'm kind of impressed with that. Tier 1 tanks, which is what I'm currently using, are generally light tanks. They are generally known for their speed and their scouting abilities. Medium tanks, generally bigger, not necessarily as fast, but have better guns and play a more sort of all-round purpose. Heavy tanks have a lot of armour normally and bigger guns again. They are, however, normally quite slow. And why is he ignoring me? You also have tank destroyers, which have large guns but little armour, and don't always have turrets, even though some do. And artillery, or SPGs. Artilleries have a very different playstyle than normal tanks, in that they have a top-down view of the world and can potentially target anywhere on the map. Impressive. Tanks have modules on them. The previous tank I just killed, I managed to hit his ammo rack. If you notice down on the bottom left hand of the screen, you can see my tank and the direction it's facing. It also has various modules around it, things like the engine or the ammo rack, the tracks. If these things get destroyed by a shot, your performance of your vehicle will be reduced. However, they do get repaired by the crew automatically. And there we have my team starting to capture the base, but that's unneeded, being as we have just won. After a match, you'll be given a performance review and shown you'll gain a number of credits earned and an amount of experience for your tank, along with details of which enemies you destroyed, you hit, and so on. You look at the detailed report, you'll notice things like, along with the income, experience is earned for this tank, and then you get floating experience, or free experience, which can be used on any tank. The first match of each day for each tank you have will be doubled, well, the first win. And there's also crew experience, which isn't shown on here as such. But yeah, basically you'll gain experience for your tank, which is used to research extra models or enhanced modules and new tanks. And each of these gets slightly more expensive to go through, and to sort of end up getting into tier 10 tanks, which is the top tier tank of the game. You'll gain free experience, which can be used on any tank. You'll gain experience for your crew. They start at 50% crew in their basic skill. Once it reaches 100%, it means they are most efficient at their particular jobs. This small tank has 2 crew, a commander and a driver. Larger tanks, like this IS-4, will have more crew, or the ISU-152, which has a total of 5 crew. And their skills will affect the reloads and the accuracy of the gun, the manoeuvrability of it, its spotting ability, and other general performance effects. So, that's the basics of the game. There are quite a lot of different game styles. Wargaming, the people who produce this game, are adding and updating the game all the time. One of the other things which can occur in a battle is events and missions. These things are optional. You can aim to get to sort of try and achieve a particular mission. Some of these missions are more sort of highlighting discounts, like this one. They quite often have weekend or week-long events where they have reduced costs for certain things, which you can find out here. They also have other temporary missions, sort of a monthly mission for just generally being able to earn more coin or getting special resources, special consumables for your tanks. What else can I say about the battle styles? There's a number of different styles, including team and tank companies, whereby you set up a team with specific tier limitations. Stronghold battles are only for clans at the moment. Strongholds themselves are only applicable to a clan. You have to be in one if you want to participate in them, and they can give your clan benefits. And there's team training for if you want to just practice on a map. There's a large number of maps, and they're being updated and added to as time goes on by Wargaming. Along with the tech trees, there's currently 7 different nations, each in different levels of how complete and how large their tech trees are. The Russians, the Americans and the Germans have the most in them because they are the original nations which were released when this became public. So that is how the game works and some of the things which can happen. It's a free-to-play game, and so it's got a microtransaction currency. For World of Tanks, this is gold. Gold costs generally around, for 1,000 gold you'll be paying £3.40. There is the economy of scale. If you were to buy 10,000 at once, that would be £28. So what do you get for this? Some of the things you can get with gold is a premium account. This temporarily upgrades your account, so you receive extra credits and experience in a battle. If I go back to this, you will notice my values without premium, and if I had premium, how much that would be. This is quite an important thing for total credits earned, because for non-tier 1 tanks, your vehicle and ammunition have a cost to repair and to replace. Your premium account will add to your gross income but not worry about the costs, so it can change a game where you would have lost money into a game where you would gain money. That's only with the credits, the silver. Experience is always just earned, and you always just gain more with that. Another thing which will happen if you were to have a premium account is this garage you can see here in the background. will be improved and cleaned up if you have a premium account. It's very cosmetic, it makes absolutely no difference, but for people who care about the sort of surroundings of their tanks, then yes, a premium account will actually adjust that. Next up is garage slots. You start off with a small number of garage slots with tier 1 tanks in them. If you wish to purchase extra garage slots so you can have more tanks at once, it's going to cost you 300 gold. So that's about 80-90p or less for each extra garage slot. The same with the barracks. The crew you have, you can change them between tanks, and if you were to have a tank like this one where I wanted to move this crew into the next tier of Russian tank destroyer, sort of progressing along the same line, and I want to keep this crew, I can temporarily move them to the barracks and then pull them back out the barracks when I've got the next tank. You generally run out of space unless you're doing that a lot though, so extra barrack space is less important or less often used than extra garage slots. Another thing you can get with premium, so we look on a text tree for the Russian line. You notice some of these tanks have gold names. These are premium tanks. A premium tank can only be bought with gold. There is no tech tree line into or out of them, so they don't affect your general progression through the game. And they are also capped at tier 8. You will not find a premium tank above tier 8. Some of the advantages of a premium tank is they generally have reduced cost to repair and for the ammo. They will earn you more credits per battle, so they will have a bonus for the damage you've caused if you're driving in a premium tank compared to another tank of the same tier. And also, if you have crew from different tanks and you put them into a premium tank, the crew skill would normally, if you were to put it into a non-premium, be reduced, so they're not as effective unless you retrain them, but then that's going to cost you money and lose a bit of their base experience. If you move them into a premium tank, they will not have their efficiency reduced and they will earn the experience as a standard rate. Also, because there's no research for a premium tank, it is immediately considered an elite tank. Elite tanks are ones where you've researched everything in that tech tree. That premium tank can have the option to have accelerated true training on, so any experience you would earn which would normally be put towards researching upgrades for the tank are instead moved and help the crew earn more experience as a way of accelerating their progression. Because crews, once they hit 100%, you can earn skills and perks for them, and the number of skills and perks they can earn is unlimited. These are effectively additional perks. Increase the repair time, so if one of your tracks got blown up, you can repair it quicker. Reduce the effect of your engine catching on fire. Broth and Arms is another generic one, which if everyone has that, the entire crew gets an increase in performance. Camo, another common one, it reduces the visibility range of your tank. Plus they each have specific role-based perks, and as you can see there's quite a lot of them. However, each progressive perk requires more and more experience, so you have to be careful which ones you choose first as the most important ones. So that's why you'd want to potentially keep your crew from one tank to the next, and why you'd possibly want to use a premium tank to train up a crew. Crew can only stick within their nation of tanks, so you can't move a Russian crew into a German tank. But you can move them between the different types. Again though, if you move a crew from a heavy tank to a light tank, their performance drops off more and it's harder to train them than if you were to move them to another heavy tank. Gold can also allow you to freely unequip certain items you can get for a tank. These items give a bonus to the tank in a certain area, so decrease the loading time, potentially increase the aim time, increase your view range. Some of these options, if ones with the gold nut, become fixed to that tank and you cannot remove them. You can only replace them unless you wish to use gold. Code can be spent to remove. It's only 10 gold to dismount that and allow you to put it onto another vehicle if you so wanted to. So dismounting these aren't much, however you can just buy a new bit of equipment for $500,000 or possibly less. Smaller tanks have cheaper gear, he says. Improved ventilation class 1 is cheaper for the light tank. Some of the other bits are still very expensive. And XP conversion. As I mentioned, you can choose to put an elite tank into accelerated crew training. However, if you don't do that, this tank will still accrue experience for researching modules it no longer needs. You can convert this experience into free experience. So whilst you can earn free experience by playing any tank, you can also convert experience at a 1-for-1 ratio at the cost of gold, and 1 gold will get you 25 XP, so it's not very cost efficient in my view to convert XP this way. But if you have a lot of gold to spend and you want to quickly accelerate and research a particular tank, that is an option. Overall, there's not much gameplay wise you can do with gold which you can't do with credits. One of the things gold can allow you to do, but credits they've relatively recently changed and so also allow credits to do, is by certain premium equipment. So you have things like the small repair kit, which can be used if your tracks get blown up to instantly repair them so you can move back out of the line of fire. And then you've got the large repair kit, which will repair all of your modules. So if you've got your turrets gone, your guns gone and your tracks are gone, you can repair all of that with one item. Being as you're limited to 3 different items on a tank, 3 different consumables, the option of having large repair kits and like large first aid kits for healing all of your crew is quite a useful thing. And originally these used to cost gold. They now cost gold or credits, but are very expensive on the credit rating. And because there's currently a sale on for these things, these are actually also reduced in cost. Same with gold ammunition. You can buy upgraded ammunition which either has more penetration or it may do more damage than its basic counterpart. And again, it could cost you gold, or you could choose to spend credits on that instead. And knowing when to use gold ammo or premium ammo on your vehicle in a battle can make the difference between winning and losing, because in certain situations your vehicle may not be able to penetrate the front of that tank up ahead of you unless you switch to premium. So if you can do that, you've got more chance of penetrating, more chance of doing damage, more chance of winning. But as the name implies, it does come at a premium cost to do that, and generally speaking it's not required to win a game. And also you can use the credits you earn normally to buy all of these bonuses, so you don't have to rely on someone paying real money to get that benefit. That's about all I have really to explain on this. I do like the free-to-play microtransaction economy for this game, in that while you can get more tanks, you've got more playability options, you're not forced to buy gold. and you're not forced to buy gold to actually win and enjoy the game. I would say though the premium account does help a lot if you're wanting to play high tier games, because of the cost if your tank gets destroyed versus your income, which can be quite low if you don't do any damage yourself. You can make quite a bit of a loss on the credits. Having that extra credit income can offset and change it from a loss to a profit. But yes, I will do some more gameplay footage in a follow-up video, so you can actually see how the different tanks act and what sort of variety there is in the game. I hope this video has been informative to you. Thank you for watching, and take care out there.